I am the last Bloodruth left standing. Tragedy at the hands of an impossible nemesis tore my family apart. I lost all of them. But I won't let a small obstacle like death stand in the way of me trying to save them. I know such magic is forbidden. I know there will be consequences. But I have to try. Charity Bloodruth knows the most powerful of blood magics. She and my grandfather Jebediah have been forced to live a reclusive life due to my grandparents bending the rules themselves. They will understand that I would never abandon my brothers or my mother. Mother and Abel are beyond my reach. But I must save Casey, no matter what the cost, before it's too late. It's time for a little family reunion.
The Rippaverse's frosty heroine takes center stage in the definitive Yaira Volume 1. Written by Jen and Sylvia Soska and featuring artwork by Debra Carita, this volume collects the first 3 issues of Yaira, introducing readers to Dr. Sally Rodell, a brilliant scientist and key figure at the cutting-edge biotech company in the city of Florspark. From high-stakes battles to uneasy alliances, Yaira is forced to confront past enemies that test not only her abilities, but also her place in a world that she doesn't fully belong to. So whether you're meeting her for the first time or revisiting her earliest battles, this collection delivers Yaira's explosive debut arc in one streamlined, stunning edition. Experience the definitive Yaira Volume 1, available now for pre-order at Riververse.com. Most print-on-demand companies leave creators feeling disappointed. From poor quality shirts that fade after a few washes, to delays in shipping and little to no involvement in the process. That's why we launched Ripasend Merch, a program built to give creators a better way. With us, it's more than just uploading a design and hoping for the best. We work with you every step of the way to make sure that your merch actually represents your brand. We specialize in quick turnarounds and limited merch drops, keeping things fresh for your fans while helping you stay in control. And because it's powered by the same reliable infrastructure that runs the Rippaverse, you can trust that your customers will not only get their products on time, but with the quality they deserve. If you're a creator interested in offloading your merchandise to us, visit Ripasend.com for more details.
Yo, what is up, everybody? I hope you all are doing well. I know we just threw a bunch of stuff at you that we got going on. There's actually one thing that I was waiting on, and in fact, let's play that real quick. So yeah, it's a lot going on over here today. I know Baz didn't even know what the hell was going on with that. So yeah, tomorrow we got some fun stuff that'll be dropping that's new. We do have another kind of omnibus, or rather collection happening, but this was going to be associated with some new material as well. So we'll give you some more information about that soon enough. Nonetheless, we are here for yet another episode of Rip and the Silverback. Got a lot to discuss today. Lots of fun things happening. Of course, joined by my co-host, Silverback himself. Man, what's going on?
Doing great. Thank you very much. I mean, you just started that Ripasend for creators.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's a merch drop on there right now.
Right now
from this guy.
Yes.
So yeah, if you go to the ripasend.com/bio/heel versus babyface, you will see that we have dropped 3 t-shirts for you on there. We've got the heel versus babyface. You're boring t-shirt,
Yeah.
which has been requested forever. We have the a Schlurpo story t-shirt up there as well. And then, of course, how could we not represent Rip and the Silverback? Boom, right there. These are up and available right now.
Right now. Available right now. Ripascend.com. You can head there. We're going to get this pinned. We're going to get this in the description as well. Going to get the mods to make sure that that's there for you all. But yes, excited to get this rolled out. Obviously. And yeah, we have some fun merchandise and more that will, come on the way. This is kind of a long time coming, and obviously launch this thing alongside as is it means a lot. It's important here. But yes, you can go to ripascend.com and go straight to his page, right? To Az's page, and you will be able to get the Ribbon of Silverback shirt, Slurpo shirt, and the You're Boring shirt. It's right there available for you all. Gonna have a very short pre-order window, and then orders will start going out right after that. So expect quick turnaround with this. That's the kind of appeal here. That's the point of why we're doing these merch drops like this. Again, long time coming. You will see that grow. You'll see more stuff from as things come along. I'm sure there'll be something that will get canceled for next week, and we'll get a shirt for something that he says. But also you'll see some stuff like, instead of like just straight Rippaverse things, maybe some stuff associated with myself, Ripping the Silverback as well. It's just going to be a lot of fun. So head over to ripascend.com right now, and please go check this out. Go grab all of the tees. Go out, grab all three of them.
Buy a shirt for your shirt.
Yes, buy a shirt for your shirt. You might as well grab all three. They're available for you right now. Like I said, short pre-order window. Want to give a big shout out to our man's Kanan, helping with some of the designs here. Such a phenomenal creator. My man's Marcos, obviously on the colors. Can't forget him for sure. And yeah, man, this is exciting. This is a very, very exciting time. You guys saw the video before about us kind of going with this Ripascend merch. Look, we have far other capabilities than just books. Yes, we publish. That's a big thing that we're going to always be known for. But there's a lot of stuff that we could do on this side of things, and really print t-shirts and stuff. I mean, we're always doing that, so why not make this stuff available for others to obviously take advantage of? But also, what's most important is getting this cool stuff out to you all. There's a lot of things out there, print on demand things that are out there, and the reliability is just not so much. Let's just say that. We got something here that's gonna, I think, be attractive for people that are in our sphere we just want to get cool merchandise out to you all. So thank you all so much. I'm also working on, this is something I haven't even spoke with Az about. You guys know that if you have like a Teespring, like I used to have back in the Gap, you could get that to show basically on all of your videos, where you see at the bottom like, hey, they're selling stuff like that. We are working with Google directly to get that as a feature for our own store. So hopefully we will soon enough. I'll give you guys updates soon, but hopefully we'll be able to get that launched. So these guys are going to be able to, and the Rippaverse as well is able to just have that showing directly on our our videos, all the videos and stuff, the content that we produce. So it's something that we're working on. Like I said, we're in contact with them to make that happen. It's a little more complicated with us because we don't use the platforms that would have all the integration like Shopify and stuff, the out of the box stuff. We have more custom solution, but at least they're working with us to try to get this thing to work. So we'll have some announcements for you there. But right now, go to ripascend.com, go grab these 3 shirts and get another shirt for your shirt. Give for your loved ones. Got holidays coming up soon enough. Might as well. I like the Ripper Silverback. Kind of has a spooky thing going on with it, so you might as well grab that for Halloween.
Want to have some good drip in your coffin if you're dying soon? Get this t-shirt.
You want to look good. You want to look good.
You want to go 6 feet under the ground. You want to go down in style
exactly.
with your boring t-shirt on. Or you definitely want to go into the afterlife with a Schlurpo story.
Yeah. That's
and
what you want.
Explaining that to St. Michael at the pearly gates.
That's exactly what you want for sure. So go to ripascend.com and go grab this. We'll be sharing it along the way. Again, it's pinned it's going to be in the description, and it's already pinned as well. So go check this out and go buy a shirt for your shirt. Now, that said, we'll talk about some of the other stuff, but just before we get into some of the topics that we want to discuss today, that's what I do want to discuss just for a little bit. We have some initial feedback. We haven't got to the point, some of the orders are still going out, but we haven't, done like the surveys and everything yet. But I will say this much: initial reviews, man, they're loving Chasing Ghosts, bro.
I think they're loving all of it, to be honest with you. No, I appreciate that feedback, but from what I'm seeing, the reaction to all the stories seem to be exceedingly positive. I've been very lucky to have some very good feedback on mine, and thank you so much, everybody that has. If you haven't read this story yet, don't worry, no spoilers being given away in the stream, but we will most likely have a big post Saints and Sinners stream with the creators to have a talk about this. But yeah, it's been it was crazy to actually get it in the post. It's been a process that has been a little over a year in development. A lot of moving cogs when you're dealing with multiple creators and whatnot. And so to have written a story, and then you start to see your pencils come in, and then the inks come in, and then the coloring comes in, and then the lettering, of course, which is so important because that's actually telling the story as well. All of that feels so surreal, but it doesn't hold a candle to the first time you see yourself in print. To when you get the physical, the first time you get the physical copy, and you're just like, holy, holy. So I can't thank everybody who backed the campaign enough. I really can't. 13,000 books. We sold over $500,000 was taken on the campaign. If you missed out, don't worry, you can still get cover E. Maybe I'm not sure. Some of the other covers might be available, but I think there's limited if very low.
If they are, it's not that many of them.
But yeah, you can definitely get the cover if you missed out. But massive thank you to everyone that did make Saints and Sinners such a success, and then reading your feedback and being added in on your feedback. Which cover sold the most? Hello.
He's holding it up.
Hello.
He is holding it up.
So the feedback has been exceptional. I always say the Ripper fans are the best fans, and they are. And I'm looking forward to, if you haven't got yours yet, looking forward to you. Smug suits me very well, Barry. It's a good fit on me. Just like the new t-shirts. Buy a shirt for you.
Yes.
Buy a shirt for Smug version of you.
Yes, do it here at Riverson.
But yeah, it's been a crazy process going through everything, and let Eric know. Let him know about the stories you've read. Let him know which ones you like. Your feedback is very crucial to the Ripperverse. So if you've got your Saints and Sinners, at Erican on social media, at Ripperverse on social media, tell him what you liked. Tell him what you liked. So yeah, it's amazing. I got my writer's bundle, and then I got my own. Because I did do I want it all myself. So I think the only thing I'm waiting for is my own copy of the concept art book, but I do have one which was comped to me from the Ripperverse themselves, which is so good to have. And I can't give too much away because there's like legit Apex. I can't do it. Like, it's legit spoilers about what go. So there's stuff that you're gonna see in here. Little hints about what the Apex can do. that wasn't required in the first story, but might be required in future stories. Who knows?
Yeah, it's like I said, it's gonna be a fun time. Once we
Crazy.
obviously are able to stream and talk a little more about it. Got some stragglers there as far as the orders are concerned. We want to make sure everybody has theirs. We're going to be sending out some surveys and stuff too. That said, be sure to let us know how you felt about it. As said, tag us, do videos on it, all of that good stuff. We love to see it, and let us know. We want to do more of what you enjoy. And I know each story had its own kind of intent, right, as far as what they were trying to convey, and especially where it fit in the Rippaverse. But we want to do more of what you like. We want to do more of what you enjoy. So be sure to let us know, and shout from the mountaintops how you feel.
No, I can't let you get away with this. Now, Mr. Eric July is gonna be a daddy.
Oh yeah. That's
you wanna tell us about that? Mate?
Obviously, I told y'all. If you didn't see it, I made a post yesterday about kind of, this has been a kind of a big year, and how this is also the year that I became obviously a father. It's something that I had been sitting on for a while now, obviously, and I just felt like it was obviously appropriate to let you guys know now that we've been able to kind of get over that, at least initial hump, and just experience like a family should experience. And I want to let everybody know that. So thank you all. I got a lot of well wishes from pretty much everybody. That was an awesome thing to see. The wife got to see all of your well wishes as well. So thank you all so much. We appreciate you. You're amazing.
There she is in the chat.
Yeah. And it's there she is right there. My wife's in the chat. But yes, it was a fun time. It was fun to finally let you all in on that, right? Because again, it's something that we've been sitting on, and I can speak about freely about being a father before. I kind of gave it. Some would have given it away anyway, like hearing a crying baby like in the background or something like that of one of my streams would have given it away. So we were like, look, this is gonna happen anyway. Let's just, we've experienced what we needed to, the actual experience without people knowing it. We're good to go, and just now letting you guys know that this is a thing. So appreciate it. Thank you all for your support. It is an awesome chapter that we have entered, and I'm having a blast already. So this is fun. This is fun. So thank you all. So see Yellow Flash in the chat as well. Shout out, much love to you. But yes, thank you. This is a big reason why also you guys have seen kind of a change in like content as far as how I approach content these days. A lot of that had to do with knowing that this is a thing, right? So it does feel good to let you guys know. So appreciate it. If you want some more details about any of that stuff, just go. I posted it pretty much on all forms of my social media, and you can it has a massive story attached to it. And so thank you. I'm probably going to talk about it a little later as well on at least some of what I talked about in that post and the show later today for Kenneth's sake. But yes, it's exciting, extremely humbling. And it's nothing like it. So thank you all so much. Appreciate it. Samari super chat and talking about Riververse onesies. There's incentive there now. There is incentive. Thank you for that.
I'm sure there's got to be just, even if it's bespoke, some bespoke stuff made for the baby,
Yeah, for sure. But thank you seriously, guys. Everybody reached out to me privately as well. I can't name everybody because there's so many of you guys that have my number. As know about it before you guys did.
I'm glad I didn't have to keep it secret for too long.
He didn't have to keep it secret for that long, but
I was treading around, didn't tell us all, even the closest to me, as I was like,
exactly. So, but everybody that reached out to me, privately, thank you all so much. Thank you. So, okay. I want to talk about this because this is some big news that has broken about EA for you guys that don't know, and that it's going private. I've seen everybody's videos on what this entails, what they think that it's going to mean. And I'll read an article that kind of goes through.
No more gay shit. There's one.
Well, that's one thing that the former writer, what was it, Weeks? I forget, Patrick Weeks. That's his name.
Well, that he's a absolute buffoon. That guy, anyway.
But he had said that in a
sorry, you said he goes by they them now. I think.
Jesus. Okay. Well,
yeah.
Patrick Weeks. Your mama called you Patrick. Named you Patrick. I'm gonna call you Patrick.
Oh, he's married. He's married with, I don't know if he's got kids, but he's married, but only, used to look normal just a couple of years ago. Now he's got blue hair. Now he goes by they, them, the typical kind of, I'm a broken liberal wanker.
But Patrick, where he's bringing that up, that was something that he's literally said. As you know, the safe haven, leftist safe haven, that is Blue Sky. He posted this deal over there.
Blue skies for me.
Essentially saying, they're gonna be like no more gay stuff and more of like the football stuff. Which, it's gonna be very interesting to see kind of what's going on with that. Like I said, I will read through this article that I found the most comprehensive one that kind of goes through some of the details of the actual deal. But before we read it, I want to get as your kind of initial thoughts, because I know that kind of controlled the gaming news cycle that EA was going not that it's just getting like kind of sold off. You had rather this big investor that jumped in and it was going to own like be a majority owner. This is now they're going fully private with this.
Yeah, there's a lot of moves being made by Saudi Arabia at the minute for quite a few things. Don't be surprised when Saudi Arabia purchases WWE in probably a couple of years.
There's a lot of programming happening over there these days now.
WrestleMania is going over there next year. So, but it's kind of looking like they're setting up a sale to the Saudis. With WWE, so the Saudi Arabia is definitely making some big pushes into the entertainment sphere. EA, hate the company, hate the ethos of the company. I hate the fact that they buy smaller companies and then shut them down when they don't EA-ify. That they're EA-ified games, which not why people bought them in the first place, fail or whatnot. So how it's going to work? I mean, we giggle about the no more gay shit, but there's going to be a lot of censoring if it's purchased by Saudi Arabia. There's going to be a lot of censoring on various things. So don't get excited that don't be expecting the Saudis have bought it now the liberals or the freaks on the left aren't going to be able to do what they want. Well, guess what? There's a lot of stuff in general that you probably won't be able to do on EA games now. There'll be a lot of propaganda. There'll be a lot of censorship, particularly with speech and attitudes and whatnot. So I don't know. I personally, would I rather have EA in the hands of Western gaming developers or in the hands of the Saudis? I think I can unanimously say I don't give a shit because it's EA and they're shite. I can't stand the annual franchise model that they have. As a company, I don't care. I barely touch an EA game anymore. I can't remember the last time I did buy an EA game. In general, I try to stay away from them as much as possible. BioWare are done. By the way, this is might as well just be the final nail. I mean, Veilguard was the final nail, but BioWare, what are you gonna do? EA are gonna fucking the Saudis are gonna throw you off a roof. Metaphorically, they're gonna throw out everything that you put forward off a roof. So if you think you're gonna be making your stunning and brave trans flags, I'm a they them bollocks.
I'm not gonna fly well with the Saudis.
It will fly off a rooftop, but it won't. That's pretty much the only place that it will fly. EA can rot as far as I'm concerned. I wouldn't give a shit if the Saudis ran it into the ground. I really wouldn't care. EA's not the company that I used to buy games from back in the day.
Right. Well, let me get to this then. Let's read through this again. Some of the details of this, which are very interesting, to say the least. For years, tech-focused buy. This comes from Reuters. Silver Lake, coveted video game company, Electronic Arts, the power behind the popular Battlefield and Madden NFL and many others. Don't they have like The Sims? Obviously, they got all those sports titles and like namely FIFA, or not FIFA anymore, EAFC. Says in a brainstorming session this spring, Silver Lake investors and U.S. President Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, started hammering out plans for what became the largest leveraged buyout. Three sources familiar with the talks. One of the people said the talk started between Silver Lake co-CEO Egon Durbin and Kushner, backed by Saudi Arabia's public investment fund. The $55 billion, which is so much money, announced on.
It's a drop in the hat for these boys.
Well, for the Saudis, absolutely, with all that money, but just I don't think people understand.
We were talking about trillionaires here, you know.
Yeah, this is so much money. Says on Monday will enlarge Silver Lake's games, sports, and entertainment portfolio while giving the Sovereign Wealth Fund an asset it may want to hold on for a longer time, the sources said. EA was first approached in the summer. Now, PIF, which is, again, the Public Investment Fund, will end up as EA's majority shareholder, while Kushner's private equity fund, Affinity Partners, will own 5%. Given that PIF or PIF already owned 10% of EA before the deal, according to LSEG data, and had gaming investments, it made sense for Silver Lake to look at the fund as a natural partner. The person said, noting that Kushner played an important role in brokering. And obviously it talks about Trump, him being a Trump aide. And
God, why does Trump? It's fucking EA.
Trump, they got to tie it to Trump.
Holy fucking shit!
You know they got to tie it. They got to tie it to Trump.
I went down to my local grocery store the other day. I went to buy myself a head of lettuce. I couldn't believe it. It was fucking like Trump. It's like, oh my God, they're turning the lettuces into Trump. Everything's fucking Trump.
But it says Saudi Prince Mohammed bin Salman says
Mohammed bin fucking ripping the shit out of your video game companies.
Says who has said he enjoys unwinding by playing video games with friends and children, has laid out his ambition for his country to be the global hub for games and esports. And that's one of the bigger things and why the investment is a thing in the first place, right? Saudi Arabia is starting to, and it is interesting to see kind of that angle, but they are starting to invest in and try to expand upon their influence using like non-political means and mediums, like, again, other subcultural aspects, like, again, you just mentioned attracting a lot of like entertainment talent there. And as you see right here with this big deal, which is kind of it's interesting to see, because I know everybody's going to be like, what does that mean? And what angle are they taking and trying to control? I think that's the more political aspect that I think is a lot of people are talking about, and now maintaining or grabbing control of some pretty sizable and notable entertainment properties. Says this isn't just a spreadsheet deal of Saudi Arabia buying time, talent, and cultural clout in one shot. Yeah. I don't disagree with that. It puts a trophy IP house at the tip of Saudi Arabia Vision 2030 spear, backed by a government that has earmarked $38 billion for games and sees interactive entertainment as soft power and long-run monetization. This is what does get me. Is it this? And maybe you feel me from the West as well, though be it in a different country. It is amazing how the fucking Saudis seem to understand the importance of culture, but we can't get people on the economic right to understand the importance of it, right?
Well, because everything's in the West, everything's governed by identity politics.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not. In the East, it's not. In Saudi Arabia, in the Middle East, it's not. Mm-hmm. So when you take out identity politics from the equation, guess what? You used to get what we used to get in the West, in the video game industry.
Yeah.
A lot of the West as well is bogged down in red tape.
Oh, well, yeah. Tell me about it.
There is
big reason why they're going to go private.
Teams upon teams upon teams upon teams. Teams have to have meetings for teams to come together it's a fucking disaster. That's why the cost of the games in the East is so dramatically less than they are in the West. You put in a DEI team to your company's fucked already because now everything has to run through them because they have to justify why they have a position there. So again, everything gets caught up in the minutia of red tape. So no, it's this purge in a metaphorical way because we're dealing with Saudi Arabia here. So it's a metaphorical way. Purge the Western gaming industry of these identity politic fucking freaks who bring nothing but destruction to franchises, destruction to the video game industry, and destruction to their own companies. So it doesn't take a genius to work out this kind of stuff.
That to me it is, while that's you're totally right there. The other thing though, and more so what I'm speaking to, is how this acknowledges, or this is the Saudi Arabians acknowledging how, and that specific sentence right there, in case you guys missed it, where it said something along the lines of, hold on, let me see if I can find it.
Eric, I could. They want to run it like a business.
Well, yeah.
The West don't want to run their companies like a business. They want to run it like a fucking pride parade.
Yeah.
So there's a huge difference. One aspect wants to make money. One aspect wants to send a message. Which one's going to win? Which one's going to get the money?
Oh, well, the people that want to focus on the entertainment aspect. But yeah, this sentence right here, it says that the Crown Prince said that they want his country, and it's Saudi Arabia, obviously, to be the global hub for games and esports by 2030. So they understand this influence, and that wasn't even the sentence that I was looking for, because he does mention okay, every year, blah blah blah, about the, let me see, where is it at? Here it is. This isn't just a spreadsheet deal. Saudi Arabia buying time, talent, and cultural clout in one shot. And and then it says, as both a soft power, or I guess a run and long run monetization. So more so what I'm speaking to, and this is something that I would love for people in, I don't care where you're at in the West, if you like to believe yourself, I don't care what you call yourself, libertarian, conservative, doesn't matter to me. Saudi Arabia seems to understand that with this comes cultural influence in controlling this. Is why they made this push for grabbing the IPs associated with, obviously, EA. They understand that. Whether they do right by it or not, that'll be determined in the future. But one of my biggest frustrations has been, and if you follow me over the last 15 years, something I've led with for a very long time, and the economic rights inability to organize and focus on culture. I think that's why a lot of them have a generation that gives them more, or gave them more of a bad rap, because say what you will about the left, they were always culturally involved, and they made this like attractive. Though they had the worst of ideas, they almost won by default because of the economic rights reluctancy to engage in culture. They considered some of these stuff childish, right? They often demonized it, and I mean, even Trump, he had that bit where early in his first campaign, if you remember, first running, where he was talking about looking into video games for violence, right? Like, they don't get it, right? They don't understand the importance, but somehow the Saudi Arabians understand it, and that's something to pay attention. They are improving on that. I will give folks that credit have in slightest bit. But once folks understand that if you want to really influence generations positively, you have to look at things outside of just politics. And you got to kind of be able to control the the subculture there. And by that, I'm not saying like beating your audience over the head with it. No. I'm saying like you control it. Like you absolutely have a presence there. Whereas to now, really, I mean, there's no real subculture that exists that you can think, oh, well, that's the economic right. They don't even have the church anymore. You got fucking weirdo trans people running the church.
Well, it's a cult.
In some
it's
cases,
a religion to them.
To them, that's a good point. But you don't have that. You don't got country music anymore. You don't have NASCAR. You don't have any of the, maybe the last thing standing, and that's probably about to get controlled by the Saudis anyway, is UFC, right? Yeah. And that's about it. That's the one subculture where you can think that, okay, because of like a Dana White, they tend to have, though, yes, there may be fighters that are of various political ideals. It seems rather normal and based on a meritocracy because someone that more aligns with the economic right controls that. Whereas you can't name anything else. Leftists control mainstream AAA gaming. They control obviously all the sports stuff that happens all around the world, including the corrupt FIFA. Though might be the only person I can nerd out about that. You guys are probably over your head about how corrupt FIFA
for years, mate,
and compromised FIFA is. But also you have, like I said, pretty much anything, music, everything. It's like if you are to say that a side controls it, it's like it's the left. So if nothing else, for the love of God, please learn that. Look, the Saudis have figured this out. They understand that if we want, like, for example, our geographical area to be looked at in a positive way, we have to control the culture. Or we have to have a presence there, a prominent presence there. And that's why they're getting into like all these other entertainment spaces. But if only we could get fucking, conservatives and libertarians and people just fall in the economic right to understand that, I think we'll be in a much better place. Continuing on, it says every year we have a 15% to 25% profit. So it's really amazing, and we do not want to miss that. This is what the Prince told Fox News 2 years ago, talking about their annual return, talking about their investments that they've made and they've been seeing a return on, which is pretty damn good. Yeah. This is a spreadsheet deal. I read that about the cultural cloud. It says it puts a trophy, look at soft power and long run monetization. Says the investments include a stake in Call of Duty maker Activision Blizzard and holdings about 4% in Nintendo. So they're making a move there as well. And about good luck with that one, though. 6% in Take-Two Interactive, that's maker of 2K games and Borderlands and all that, and even fucking GTA, says are a part of the Kingdom's Saudi Vision 2030 plan to diversify away from oil by pouring billions into other sectors. Well, they're using the oil money to pour billions into these other sectors, which is smart. That's what businessmen do. That's exactly what you wonder how they didn't catch on to that before. It's like they really were known more about and someone in the chat brought this up when I was about to church, like those are French churches. Are you saying that the more especially the big churches aren't compromised as well? Surely you're not saying that. Sure, they might not have some side shave trans being their preacher, but surely we're not that.
Well, I don't know, mate. That's what I'm saying.
So we've seen that.
We've seen some of this filter in.
That was my point. We've seen that, but the guy is acting as if that's on the.
No, we're seeing fucking female priests or whatever with the pride flags and the trans are welcome and all this kind of stuff. And no, what they're preaching is not it's not from the good book.
That's for sure. That is for sure. All right. So it says EA's well-known franchises and brands, as well as the chance for PIF to bring game developing capabilities to the kingdom, help convince the fund to double down on its investments. One of the people said, this is kind of, again, it's very intriguing that they are. I tell you what, let's make some predictions.
Okay.
I don't think this kicks in until technically like all the way with it. I think they'll be taken off if deals goes through. Again, talking about regulations and all the red tape. I think it'll be taken off the exchange and stuff this year, but they won't be like deal won't technically go all the way through until 2027. I think it said.
Okay.
That's
sooner than you think.
Yeah, that'll be right around the corner. Obviously, I'm a big pro. I'm pro privatization. I mean, yeah, obviously, considering my economic philosophy. But seriously, just from how businesses are ran, getting away from the strict corporatism model, I think is something that would benefit the West entirely if they did that across the board instead of looking to anytime you see success go public. That's when you open yourself up to be bought out by the Black Rocks and and so forth, and having to answer to all the shareholders. All this is like that. That's when you open yourself up because everything comes. You get the capital, but everything comes with a price when that happens. So Saudis get this, and you understand all of the all the stuff that happens under EA. I know we might not care either way, but if we are to make an educated as much as we can be prediction, what is yours
for what they're actually going to do?
Yeah,
they're going to focus on business. They're going to be focusing on business. So I think their biggest concern is going to be with the annual franchises, the sports franchises, the monetization.
Definitely something like FIFA, considering Saudi. Yeah.
So they are very much going to be focused on that kind of stuff, because that's where the big money's made. There's a reason why we have these annual franchises, as much as we might despise them. Is because they are huge money churns. They really are. They're massive, massive money churns. It's not just the initial sale of the annual franchise. It's the season passes. It's the boxes. It's all of the extra monetization on top. There is a lot of whales involved in these franchises, and they will spend insane amounts of money. In terms of your smaller companies, your attached companies, your BioWares and whatnot, they could certainly look at BioWare and say, "Hey, look, this Mass Effect business." But I think was it one of the Dragon Age? I don't know if it's the same one that you spoke of, but one of the Dragon Age developers said that former Dragon Age developers, because they're never getting work again, said that if the new owners censor the progressive messaging, there would be an apocalyptic backlash. Now, first and foremost, isn't it interesting that you got Saudi taking it over, and then what they talking about immediately? They're talking about the economics.
Yeah, absolutely.
The first thing that they're discussing is the economics of it.
Yeah.
What's the first thing that this fucking freak says? Progressive messaging.
Yeah.
So that tells you the two different mindsets. Saudi are coming in. They want to make money from this. They want to make sure that gamers are interested in what they're pushing. They most likely have a better understanding of the gaming, the whole gaming culture than these fucking blue-haired fucking weirdos. But if they want to bring a franchise back, they'll bring a franchise back, and it won't have any of this fucking nonsense, this nonsense. They'll look at whether or not there's actual monetization in this. Is there monetization in Dragon Age anymore? No, none. Is there monetization in Mass Effect anymore? Well, I mean, if you're looking at it from a brutal perspective, the answer would be none. Because, we waited 5 years from the end of from Mass Effect 3 to Andromeda. And Andromeda was a fucking disaster. And it wasn't just a disaster because of the new engine that they were bringing in and they couldn't program it properly. It wasn't just a technological disaster. It was a disaster in storytelling, in characterization, in writing, in everything.
Yeah.
Because of where they had gone and where BioWare Montreal was collapsed after that into the company. We know that all the people who are involved with Veilguard fired. They're all gone. You know, the writers, they're all gone. They've been fucking moved. Done. You're over. Saudis aren't going to take any of this. So they're going to look at how much monetization these franchises can bring into them. And if they deem it no, then that's it. It's game over. So don't be surprised if you do see BioWare just wound up. And they'll shelve the IPs, which is a typical EA thing to do. And I don't think they'll have any problem with shelving out IPs. And maybe it'll be passed through to another studio at another time under their umbrella to do something potentially within the future. But I would expect a serious tightening of the purse strings. No longer is money going to be squandered in the hundreds of millions that we've seen on dog shit. Just stuff which isn't creative to be a sale. It's not Dragon Age Veilguard wasn't created to sell copies. It was created to very much push an agenda, a lifestyle, a cult, a very damaging ideology. And they're not gonna waste hundreds of millions on that shit. No, there's gonna be some brutal, most likely some brutal moves made. And no, your progressive stuff will be removed, will not be allowed to happen, because that will conflict with the religious aspects of the owners, and they will not allow that to happen.
Yeah, that's a pretty solid then kind of estimation.
These are businessmen.
To add to that, yeah, I'm with you on that. They're going to be looking at the numbers. That's what they led with. They also inherited a bunch of debt in this deal. I think that's one of the things that I failed to mention.
Yeah, that's where they'll be winding up, and you look where the debt comes from, and I guarantee you a lot of that debt's coming from a nice chunk of that will be coming from BioWare.
Yeah, they're gonna look. Shout out to the Nooner. They just, as always, rated us. Much love to all of y'all. I'm pretty sure I was actually in there for a little bit before the show. They had a fantastic show. So welcome everybody that came from the Nooner. We're talking EA right now. And Ash just gave a brilliant, pretty solid prediction there on what's going to happen now that the Saudis, though the deal, again, I don't think it'll go through fully until 2027, but they are going private. So we're discussing that. Thank you all for tuning in, and welcome everybody from the Nooner raid. Now, this is where I'm at with this, or what I think, if I'm just guessing here. You're right in that they are going to be worried about the bottom line, especially initially, because they are getting a bunch of debt as well, and they're going to need to start looking at this company immediately, like as soon as they realistically can. What's profitable? I think you're going to see for the first probably half decade a lot less risk. There's going to be probably not a whole lot of new stuff that is going to be dropping. I think those annual series are going to be there, but they're going to be focused more on okay, how do we ensure that this will return? One of their big money makers, FC, EAFC, I know, like stuff like that. They're going to keep rolling out with that stuff because they just make so much money. But I would probably, there's going to be a lot of stuff that's scrapped. I don't know what all EA has in development with us, all the other studios that they have that are under their wing. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of games that if they are in development, they're probably never going to see the light of day. If they conflict with the ideals of the, obviously the Saudis. Okay. And that could be for various reasons. That could be for, I think, two. One, like to your point, a lot of stuff religiously is just not going to fly well with them.
That means in terms of probably how women are portrayed as well in video games as well.
Most definitely. I think it's going to go.
Don't expect big-titted women naked to be running around in video games. I think
there's going to be a lot of self-censorship on their behalf because, it's just what their ideals are. There's certain stuff that there's just not going to see. I think there'll be a little, just because they understand, like they want to make some money. they'll be, I think, a little more lenient than I think a lot of people expect them to be, but it's not going to be like Japan by any means. But I do think they're going to play it safe, especially initially to start making money, and then I think after that you're going to see a lot of properties. The monetization aspect is very interesting. EA obviously is known for, and though they're not the only ones, they really, when the microtransaction stuff became a thing, they kind of went all in on it. It's become a massive money maker for them. We can say what we want about EAFC. I don't think you guys understand how much money that thing makes every single year from people buying all of these packs, trying to get the best players initially, or money to buy the next player. So buying FIFA packs or buying FIFA points to buy the FIFA packs to then sell the stuff that are part of those packs to then buy the players. That's been this for the year. It's every year, excuse me. And I do believe that's going to be a big thing about it. Now, gaming is at an interesting spot right now. There is a lot of bloat. I think they're going to probably look at that and try to get rid of it. But I don't expect that like pricing for a lot of this stuff is going to like go down. If anything, because they have a lot of debt that they need to try to get rid of, they might be going the opposite way, where you might start to see them justifying, even though they may be trimming some of the fat from what they inherited. It might be a case of some of this some of the costs may even go up, because for them it's going to be about the bottom line, because again they are getting a lot of debt there. But I do think it's gonna, to your point, going to be a lot more business focused. For sure. There's a lot of like some of the other stuff that, we've talked about over the years that it just is not going to fly well. It's going to be antithetical to what their culture kind of allows. And they're not going to be lenient on that stuff. Again, they'll cater to the West in some sense. It just won't be all the way, but it is going to be very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, there will be elements of compromise with Saudi Arabia in certain elements. I'll use an example with the WWE, for example. When the WWE first went over to Saudi Arabia, women were not allowed to even wrestle. Okay. Right. So the shows were just all male. Now, let's say that happened the first time they went to Saudi was, give or take, approximately 10 years ago. First time they went. So I think it was like a couple of years after that, women got to drive in Saudi Arabia for the first time. Then it was a few years ago, let's say about 5 years ago, the Saudis compromised and allowed the WWE women to wrestle, or at least allowed a couple of women's matches, but they had to be in a full bodysuit.
Right.
So the only thing that was allowed to be shown was the neck up. Okay. Everything else, down to the wrists, of course, but everything else had to be fully covered up. So there's no bikinis, what they wear. There was no flesh being shown anywhere. This time that they went to Saudi Arabia, one of the things that they promoted was that things have changed in Saudi Arabia for women, and there were some bikini photo shoots that were done on like a couple of very specific beaches in Saudi Arabia where women are actually allowed to wear bikinis on those beaches. But we're talking like two. In the whole of Saudi Arabia. Right. So it was sort of definitely more propaganda that they are being more lenient. But if you think about, just think about that. We're talking about women here, right? In the West, we're talking about a group of people who can do anything that we can do. Mm-hmm. There's nothing that a woman can't do that a man can do, apart from heavy lifting. No, but it's in theory. It's true, Eric. It's true. It's true. You want to know what the battle of the sexes ends? It ends when something heavy needs lifting. That's where the battle of the sexes ends, mate. Yep. So a woman theoretically, like a woman can do any job that a man can go for, etc., etc. So we have that equality in the West. We're talking about women for Saudi Arabia. So let's say we're dealing with issues in the West right now when it comes to like trans and shit like that, and men pretending to be women and women pretending to be men and all this kind of stuff. if you think for one single solitary second any of that is going to fly in Saudi Arabia,
it's not.
Fly being the operative word is the only thing it will fly off is off a rooftop.
Yeah.
Okay. There's going to be no pride marches in the center of Riyadh anytime soon.
That's true. That's true.
So we're dealing with a nation that is just barely coming to grips with women actually being able to do anything.
Yeah.
Then if you think these Western progressive ideals, the Saudis are going to go, oh no, that's no, sir, no, they, them, no, Zim, Zer, Burr, her, Bill Burr, Ben Hur, no.
They're not going for it.
No,
they're not going for any of it at all. And that's what makes this.
So any of that fat that's in these, any of that to bring it to,
that's where they're going to start.
So any of this fat, which is in the West right now, that's in a company that they purchased, it's gone immediately.
Yeah. I think that's, again, they're probably first half decade. They're going to they're inheriting a lot, and they're going to be trimming the fat. Like, it's like, how do we get this before we start taking risks, new properties, things of that nature? How do we at least get the train on the tracks? Because it's a mess. There's a lot of debt, again, that we're going to be inheriting. How do we get this thing figured out? So for them, it's going to be in trimming the fat. You're going to look at what objectively just does not work. What doesn't work? What a part of this company are things that we can go without. They're going to look to that immediately and exit. And that's why I said I didn't go look at like a comprehensive list of the studios that are that have games in development right now that are on EA. But I'm sure a lot of that stuff, like I said, is just never going to see the light of day. And if it does, it's gonna go through some pretty strenuous like changes, into which all of the stuff that, let's say, if it was still Western owned, we would see and they probably be leading with is just not. There's no semblance of it. So it's going to be interesting. I could see it going a way where, like I say, a one way 5 years, and then after that, you start to see a little more risk being taken. But the monetization part does get interesting because Saudis are going to care about that. They're going to care about making money. So one thing I don't see changing of all the things, the content will change. I don't see them like keeping prices where whatever the old standard was. They're probably going to be moving that stuff to where, we're trending towards $80 games and stuff. I think that's where they're going to probably move quicker.
Absolutely.
They're going to move quicker than really quick on that, because it's like, look, we got to get a return. We got debt. We've bought this and by, I forget how much of that they said. It was a pretty sizable thing. I covered it in here it is. Supported by $20 billion in debt. I'm looking at it right now. It's actually in the Reuters article.
How?
We talked about this when you operate at that level, you get to do shit you and my company be under. We can't do that. We can't fucking do that. They get to do that. But yes, consortium is investing.
I own 10 grand on taxes out of the fucking the tax man up my asshole, mate.
Exactly.
He'd be trying to find change in my fucking colon. These guys are like 20 billion, fucking 55 billion in debt. And it's just like, it's all right. We can still make hundreds of $million movies and have them fail all the time. It's another failure. Stick it on the fucking heap.
It doesn't make sense, but that's the game that they get to play.
Where's your taxes? EA's got them. It's in that 20 billion somewhere. Go find them.
But the consortium is investing $36 billion in EA buyout, including PIF's existing stake, supported by $20 billion in debt financed by JP Morgan. So yes, it was. I thought I didn't want to, because I'm like, damn, it's a $55 billion bill. So shit, man.
It's financing, isn't it? It's financing, and it's interest on financing, and it's games that haven't brought returns, that have accrued more and more interest because it's not going away. That's not going to fucking way. How much money did Andromeda cost to make, for example? What a massive catastrophe that was. How much in development did Dragon Age cost? What a catastrophe that was. They didn't even sell 1 million fucking copies, for goodness sake. You know, you think, and that was most likely a $200, possibly $300 million, but due to the bloat. So that's financing. Then you got all the interest on your financing, build up. EA acquires. Where's it getting the money to do the acquisitions from? Hello. Boom. Here we go. We'll give you the money to acquire this.
Yeah.
That's how we get
that's
there.
how it works. That's the game. Like, look, it's dirty, bro. When you start getting in that corporate space, it's dirty. You're like, how do they get to do this shit? And yeah, you're playing by a different set of rules, bro. Than what we play. When we have that much debt, we're gone. We're cooked. There's it's bankruptcy. And the chapters that mean that you're going away. That type of stuff. There was somebody that brought up an interesting point that I wanted. This kind of goes to, and again, this is people from Anuna, we just briefly touched on this, and this is what I was alluding to. We said, why do we let foreigners dictate our entertainment? Where is big gaming? Where's the big gaming company in the U.S.? See, this is my thing, though. You have an issue here with the West. Obviously, over the last decade plus, the infiltration started to show itself. They have been infiltrating all of these cultural spaces for a very long time, but over the last 10 years, you saw the acceleration because it felt like they had ideologically just completely captured it, right? Because they have basically been allowed to kind of run free and do this goofy shit with almost zero opposition. You leave a void, and that void has been filled by foreigners, right? It's been filled by Japan and Korea, Chinese, even like you talk about Black Myth, games like that. So we're talking even just on the gaming spot, let alone some of the other cultural stuff. Even some of the cultural stuff. I mean, like entertainment stuff, like Hollywood. Like, we know how much of their box office for certain stuff that they rely on China to make those numbers look good and justify their investments.
Well, they used to.
Well, yeah,
and
exactly.
Then China realized that we can just make our own industry.
Yeah.
And fuck having the Americans, push that. We can make our own stuff.
Right.
So they're doing that now, and they're making billions on it.
That's what's happening, right? Again, that's why you got Black Myth and games like that. And you have some others that are on the way. But that's what they do extremely well, is that there's a void. And sometimes it's almost like it falls in their lap, right? Like, especially with a country like Japan and how prominent they are with their entertainment, whether they look at anime or you look at what's going on with their video games, some of those properties and being the most loved. It sounds like a lot of people that want to be entertained have gone to them, and it's not like they did anything necessarily that was different from what they had been doing in like the 90s or the 80s or anything like that. It's just that because the West went to shit, people were still looking for entertainment, and they just happened to be way better than the direction, as far as the direction that the U.S. was going, or the West was going, and some of these other Western countries. So it's less that we let it. It's more of that it is just a result of what happens when you get ideologically captured without the opposition. And this is what I was talking about before a lot of you guys got here from the Nooner. And that from the other side, the economic side, like people that aren't like leftist social justice advocates, we haven't been really culturally involved. And by we, I'm not saying like me and Az and all these other guys that no, it's not what I'm saying. Like, obviously there's us, but you got to understand, when you look at that more of at a macro level, our influence is very, I'll be blunt, minor in that sense. It's not that massive. Like, we got guys that break through for sure, but as far as having an entire culture and like you representing the majority of it, the economic right, and the reason why I keep using that terminology, because not everybody identifies as like a conservative or whatever. People are like all over, like I say, classical liberals, people that just value private property rights, right? Let's just say that those folks unfortunately got so involved with their influence being in think tanks and politics, right? And that's how really I'd argue that you lost everything. So it wasn't like we had a presence in any of that, right? It was like, well, they had controlled everything that already exists. We didn't do a very good job of building something parallel. All we did was look to them and expected them to change and depended upon and relied upon them for their entertainment. And here comes some of these foreign countries, and they just said, hey, we exist. And that's why so many, it's a similar thing that happened with America's manufacturing. A lot of people blame American manufacturing on, well, Chinese just produce cheap shit, not looking at the self-inflicted wounds. Like, well, I don't know why in the 80s did you have this massive growth and regulation with manufacturing in America, right? Which incentivized people in the first place to start looking to other countries as they were building their own, like definitely with China having their own kind of industrial, or rather this boom. And when they started opening up their economy to the rest of the world, you know, obviously America became one of their massive customers, because people were like, well, shit, we're regulated to death. I can go somewhere else and get it for much cheaper.
Yeah.
And that was a self-inflicted wound. So it's the same thing. It's a similar thing where it's like there's some missteps along the way by people in the economic right, which opened the door for the foreigners to take it over, right? So now you're left with consuming something from a foreign country versus consuming something leftist shit from the West, right? And so people are going to consume the former. So it's been a call. Look, I've been talking about this as a call to action for 15. I'm not saying anything new. People that have followed me over the years. This is one of my, when I used to do my college tours, this is one of the things that I used to lead with, talking about culture, and how we have no presence. Like, and then during the 2010s, I'm touring the freaking country doing all these tours. And I'm like, am I the only one that's in this present that is an open, like when I say liberty-minded person, right? During that time. And it was like, it was just me. It was like me, Phil from All That Remains, and Ryan from Fit for a King. Everybody else were fucking leftists. Everybody, top to bottom, everybody we toured with, everybody, all the venue owners, everybody. I'm like, we have no presence. We consume this stuff, but we have no presence whatsoever. So it was a miscalculation. And I hope that people that value private property rights learn this. Stop thinking that the battle is going to be fought in just politics. That is your mistake right there. Your mistake right there is that you think that it's just culture's gaming's childish or something like that. That was a mistake, and it got you beat. And that's why people only have two choices: go to these leftists or go to these foreigners, right? So, great comment, by the way. You bring up a great point. But this is something that I spoke very passionately about this and how we got to this point. It wasn't just because reasons.
They're not dictating.
Yeah.
This is just it. They're not coming in and dictating anything. The customer dictates where the business goes.
Right.
And we've a lot of the companies that we complain about today, EA, your BioWares, your CD Projekt Reds, your Bethesdas, your Blizzard Entertainment, your Activision. Dude, you go back 15 years or so, we love them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We love them. We love them. We'll support them to the ends of the bloody earth. You know, we absolutely adore these companies. And these are for the most part, of course, Western companies. But throughout the course of the year, they changed their philosophy. They changed how they wanted to do things. They over-monetized. They tried to bring in mobile phone monetization with AAA video game pricing. They wanted to not double dip. They wanted to triple dip. They wanted, instead of to create just good games, they wanted to create customers post-launch. Mm-hmm. So they wanted to say, look, okay, you buy the game for 60 quid, 50 quid, whatever. But afterwards, we want them to buy the season pass. We want them to buy the loot boxes. We want them to buy the cash shop items, the power-ups, the vanity items. And they went, and they essentially turned their great franchises into just money pits which people were no longer interested in investing into, because they were investing their time in how to nickel and dime you, and they weren't investing their time into how to create the next great thing, which is what they used to do and is what made their companies great.
Yeah.
So the foreigners didn't come in Or the foreign companies didn't come in and say, we're now going to dictate how the video game industry works. No, the customer said,
absolutely. It's a good
what else is out there?
Yep.
And the customer said, oh, look at this game. This is a great fighting game. It's got great gameplay, looks spectacular, it's solid, it's not buggy. The world's great, interesting characters. There's no cash shop. There's no extra monetization options on. This is just really good. Where did this come from? Oh, this came from China. All the women are looking ugly in these video games now. They're all fucking side shave, fat, lesbian, crap, wank, bollocks. Look, there's one that actually looks attractive now. The gameplay looks great. The world looks great. It's interesting, blah, blah. What's that? Oh, that comes from South Korea.
Yeah.
So they're not dictating. They're letting it's as free market as you can possibly get.
Yeah.
This is free market economy. And the free market economy has said that us, as customers, are more inclined to purchase something which I would deem to be a more traditionally based game.
All of those guys were influenced by Americans. Let's make no mistake, by Western developers of old. You can say that about anime cartoonists, all that stuff. Is it like all of them used to be, look up to Disney
genres?
We influenced them, right? That's what happened. They came up with their own style and their own spin, but we influenced them. That influence, unfortunately, is gone.
Free market means you choose, obviously.
Yeah.
Free market doesn't mean the games are fucking free.
Yeah. But what you're saying is that, and you worded that excellently, in that, look, it's less about them dictating what we must consume. It's more of they exist as an alternative to what we have traditionally consumed, not traditionally, but over the last, let's say, decade have consumed, which we find to be less than satisfactory. And
what piques our interest.
Right.
Fat, ugly, fucking diverse lesbians don't pique my fucking interest. Right. Idiot fucking weirdo freaks sitting down, telling me their fucking pronouns. I don't give a fuck. Doesn't pique my interest.
Yeah.
Men becoming useless, feminized, weak, non-take charge, no testosterone doesn't interest me.
Yeah.
More classic. We love kick-ass women, we love kick-ass dudes, and we love kick-ass content. And if the West ain't gonna give it to us, we'll go somewhere that does.
That's what's happening. And this guy right here brings up an interesting point. Tommy, he says, I just wish the kinds of video games I want to play weren't being produced by countries that want to imprison me. Well, unfortunately, if you look at what's going on in Canada and the UK, the West isn't too far. Is it too far from imprisoning people? Hell, they already are.
No, we are. In the UK, there's over 1,000 people in UK prisons for social media posts.
Yeah. So, but I get what you're saying. I do understand what you're saying, and I'm there with you. Look, the power is in the people. Like what Az is saying is that this is what the customers have decided. What I would encourage people that, again, more so believe like what we believe, that are out of the West, we need the creators to create, and obviously they need to support. They got to put something up that's again tolerable, and people are interested in buying. Like I say this as someone that created his own company and did his own thing, right? For sure. That's the route. If we're ever going to get on the other side of this, if you want Western produced stuff, you got to have Westerns producing, and then people giving it a shot, and if they enjoy it, continuing to give it a shot. But that's going to come first from them being provided with something that they enjoy, right? You can't. This is another ego that unfortunately a lot of people of the West have, and it's gotten them in trouble, in that they think, well, just because they believe as the creator that they're the shit and they're awesome and this is the best thing since sliced bread, does not mean that the general customer thinks that that's the case as well. You have to humble yourself as well as a creative, but it's very key that you again,
we're in 2025 and we've got people telling us that we're fucking Nazis.
Yeah.
Right. We're in 2025. We're not too far away from 100 years since the start of the Second fucking World War.
Yeah.
When the Nazis actually came out, and we're only 5 years away or so from the rise of the fucking National Socialist Party. Socialist.
Yeah.
Nazis are socialists.
Socialists. They always have.
So, you know, I don't know. So we're in 2025, and the people that we used to buy video games from are calling us Nazis and white supremacists and homophobes and transphobes. Because if we don't like something that they're producing, we become the biggest fucking devil that could possibly exist, right? So maybe, just maybe, also there's a fatigue going on with customers in the West that maybe, just maybe, we're going to stop purchasing from people that despise us. We're going to stop purchasing from people that hate the industry that they're in, whether it be video games, whether it be entertainment, whether it be comics, etc. Maybe, just maybe, we'll start purchasing from people that aren't calling us stupid names under the sun and are just producing content. Because it's not just the East that we're turning to. You know, we had the great Expedition 33 this year. That was a game from disenfranchised Ubisoft, former Ubisoft employees. They wanted to create. They wanted to be creative. Ubisoft didn't want to be creative. They wanted to make Black Samurai so they could have Black Samurai.
Yeah.
You know, they weren't interested in true history. They weren't interested in authenticity. They weren't interested in innovation. And I did 2 streams, 2 exceedingly lucrative streams of Assassin's Creed Shadows, and I couldn't even bring myself to take any more of that easy money. Yeah. Because the game was so shit and boring, and it hadn't progressed in the slightest. In actual fact, it most likely got worse. What do? They go off and they create Expedition 33, which was fantastic. And what did Expedition 33 do? Did it break the mold in terms of gameplay? Well, what it did is it took classic turn-based combat and said, how can we bring turn-based combat into modern day? Yeah. And they did. And they fused great turn-based combat with great world exploration, with great storytelling and great characterization. What do? They did the fundamentals. Yeah. They did the fundamentals. They created something that they thought people would find appealing. Wasn't done from a position of, we're going to add on these monetization options, or it wasn't done from the position of, this is our ideology and we're pushing it out there to the world, and we're saying, if you don't like it, don't buy it, and all that fucking idiocy. No, like, we're creative people and we want to create something that is personal to us, that we think other people, of course, are going to like. This isn't fucking rocket science. This isn't rocket science. The West is letting you down with their fall into into this fucking filth ideology, which is just proving to be divisive and destructive. Yeah. And people are leaving it. People are leaving it out. They've had enough. Even the normies have had enough. And that's why everything's so loud at the minute. There's so many screaming voices. Everyone's calling everyone a fucking Nazi. It's because they know they're losing. Yeah. They know they're losing, and this is the death throes of a fucking slain beast. Yeah. We just got to let it fucking bleed out now, because there will be more and more Western companies that will arise from this that will be interested in producing content that they just think you're going to love. Yeah. So expect people to go for the big budgets most likely in the East for the moment, but in the West we're going to see the rise of the AA studio, and those AA studios are most likely going to be the AAA studios of tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. I think that the West is long overdue for a boom and a renaissance. Let's just call it that. And only until that happens, where will be where you see, to the previous chatters, there a change. Because I get what you're saying. You're essentially, those guys are essentially saying, I would much rather this content that I want to enjoy come from, these countries. Totally understand that, because you think that you believe them to be a little more aligned with some of your values and whatnot. Totally understand that. I think there's a lot that has to happen for that to become a thing. I do think it's realistic. Like I said, we're doing some awesome things here at the Riververse, we're only one company. You know what I mean? We're only one company. It's going to be an effort that is going to be there's going to be a lot of other Riververses as well to be maybe a little more decentralized, and it might not look like a mega corporation. But if you want those options have to be created, number one, by people who have a little know-how, teams that have a little know-how, and obviously people got to go and support. And I think that what you could do, a lot of people that view our stuff and watch us on a daily basis, the best thing that you can do is what a lot of us have already done, and that's like kind of get to wiring your brain to where, okay, it's okay if I don't maybe consume the latest thing, or maybe it's okay that I start to consider that just because someone is AAA does not mean that it's good. Maybe there's some AA options. Maybe there's some things that are produced by one guy, like everybody's playing this damn Schedule One thing, or selling drugs and shit. But it's like produced by one person, if I'm not mistaken. So those options have to start propping up for sure, continue to prop up, but also people that again value liberty, people that value private property rights have to get out of, well, it's only legitimate if it comes from this company, if it comes from this studio, if it comes from
that's dying drastically.
Yeah, and that's what has to. If this is going to, if you want to get on the other side of this, that's what absolutely has to happen. It has to be complete. And when I say delegitimization, it sounds like I'm asking you to go out of your way, when really no, everybody else has already agreed that it's not where they want it to be. I'm just asking you to act accordingly. That's it. You've been equipped with this information. You know what you're dealing with. So go out there and the creators go be great. And all of us as customers, have an eye out for that cool stuff. And only then will you get back to, okay, maybe Western producers are able to, let's say, you can access that stuff. There's a lot that we made a lot of errors along the way. I just want to be clear on that. I don't want people to think that, well, it's just simply the wrong people got in control. Like, nah, we kind of gave it to them. I mean, you remember growing up, there was a lot of people that were supposedly on our side that were demonizing music, demonizing video games. You had a sort of effort from these types talking about like the violence element of it all and censorship element. Like that was coming from not just leftists, you know what I'm saying? Like that was, so you got to be, I know it's fresh on our mind. We're looking at like localization issues, but if you remember through the 90s, there were people that were on the quote unquote right that were acting as if what we did, number one, were childish and also evil in a lot of cases. So
the Matt Walsh's the world still do.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you're not wrong. There's people still on that's a great point. It's a fantastic point. We have people that are in our spot that still don't get it, that are in kind of our space that still do not get it and still go out of their way to demonize people that play video games and such. So we haven't done also the best job in trying to maintain a presence in the culture, especially when it came from those younger generations. So it's both. It's, you had the infiltration of the left while you also had just stupid, silly mistakes being made by the economic right.
Yeah, that's why. I'm not the left and I'm not the right.
Exactly.
I've never. If I'm criticizing the left, I'm being told that I'm an alt-right racist fascist, which it'd be quite funny if they ever walked into this show. And then if I criticize on the right, then I'm Az has always been a fucking lefty at heart. That meme of how things have just branched off is I've stayed in the same spot.
I
have the same fucking ideals that I had for most of my fucking life. In actual fact, maybe I have got a little bit more open-minded in a couple of areas, but pretty much held the same sort of internal politics for the majority of my life. But where we are now, with that, comparative to where that was in the 90s or early 2000s.
Yeah.
Nah,
everybody.
Things have just gone so weird.
Yeah, things of they're in the place that, like I said, it's just there's mistakes. Mistakes were made. Let's just say that mistakes have been made. on a lot of people's behalf, like people that were supposedly on our side. I know Tommy's in the chat, and he thinks that we need to retake institutions. He said he disagrees with me on that. We need to retake our institutions. I think, and I'm gonna be.
No.
I think you're playing into their hands by doing that.
Yeah, they need us. We don't need them.
Bingo.
Right? They need us. Brand doesn't cut it anymore. I'm not gonna fucking bend over backwards to save Brand.
Yeah.
Right? Brand's done shit. We supported Brand for a while, and then Brand went, do you know what? We're gonna go antithetical to your beliefs. No, you do what Eric did. You create the Rippaverse, right? Yeah. We're not here to prop up DC. We're not here to prop up Marvel. We're not here to keep them going because they have brand recognition. Yeah. We're not here to do the same for EA, BioWare, Activision, Blizzard, blah, blah, blah. Well, no. We do what Claire, what was it? Claire, whatever it is. For the Expedition, for the Expedition 33 people. We do what they did. You create your new stuff.
Yeah.
You know, there are companies that existed 100 years ago that don't exist now. There's shops that used to exist when I was a kid. Dorothy Perkins, Burton's, Super Snaps, stuff like that don't exist anymore. Yeah. Brand doesn't need to be propped up if brand doesn't move with the times or brand doesn't evolve. And it's the same here with these franchises. There's nothing that says we have to keep this franchise going. Star Wars, Star Trek, Doctor Who, whatever it may be. When there are people who could be way more creative, bring in brand new IPs for people to love, to adore. And that's how things have always happened.
That's what separates us.
Something new will come and grow.
I think that's what separates our generation from our our grandparents and their generation is that, and I think we talked about this a little bit on the last show, in that we do get too caught up in like the now and what has existed, where they were more so entrepreneurs. They were more so creators. Now we're at this point to where pretty much all of what, not anymore for at least myself, but for a while there, and I know for a lot of others, that's why we're having this conversation in the first place. People were so bent on only getting things if it came from this folks or these folks, which is why so much of what we consume comes from companies that have been around for several decades, because we hit like this pause, right? It was like a ceiling, or something. It wasn't even that. It was just people just stopped creating, and people just stopped creating, and that's why all this legacy stuff became legacy. Whereas of our other generations, they were like, okay, why don't I just create an alternative, right? Mm-hmm. That's how that. Why don't I just do that? So I will come back.
Look at what you've achieved in 3 years.
Yeah.
Right, that's 3 years.
Yeah. Good point.
That's 3 years of one guy putting his own money in, creating his new characters, creating his own dream.
Yeah.
3 years, warehouses, merch. You know, goodness knows how many comics have come out this year already. It's a phenomenon.
Yeah,
it is a literal phenomenon, and that's because Eric made a decision that he wasn't going to prop up DC, and he wasn't going to prop up Marvel or Image or whoever. He went, no, I'm gonna do something myself. So no, we don't need to take back our institutions, because these institutions have just received, they're just mired in corruption now.
Yeah,
it's cancerous.
Yeah, agreed.
You think that DC's ever gonna change now, or Marvel's ever gonna change? It's too late. The damage has been done with the vast majority of this. Now they'll do an absolute universe stuff, and it'll attract an audience, and it'll be yay, short-term gain. And Batman relaunched, massive sales, 500,000 was sold to resellers. We don't know how many end users. We know resellers, but that's all they've got left now is reboot. Number one, variant, reboot. That's all they fucking got. Because the goodwill of the customer was ripped away. And it's the same with the video game industry. It's been ripped away. These companies that we used to love, they need us. Yeah. It's, again, it's from growing up in sales, marketing, customer services. This was my bread and butter for decades, like nearly 2 decades.
No.
And it just it takes a second to lose a customer, and it takes an age to gain one.
Facts.
And so if you're pissing off your customers, you're losing them in droves. And are you replacing them? No, you're not fucking replacing them.
Yeah.
And that's where you get these diminishing returns, and they come down and down and down and down and down. So no, we don't need to prop up these institutions. We don't need to prop up the BBC. We don't need to prop up CNN News. We don't need to prop up the education system of Harvard or wherever it is. They don't need propping up.
Facts.
They need alternatives to take their places.
Absolute facts. You put it beautifully, and that's been my position on that. It's that they, like what Ash said, they are too corrupt. I mean, they spent decades to infiltrate. They were successful, and I would argue, and I don't know how you feel about this, Ash, but I would argue that actually thinking and putting resources and time into thinking that you can retake actually plays into their hand, right? Because you're you're really continuing to give them that legitimacy.
Bogs you down in no man land. It's trench warfare. It bogs you down in trench warfare.
You're in the mud with the pigs.
Yeah, and instead of maybe taking an inch, here, or maybe losing a couple there, you could just be out building a new fucking place completely.
Right. Agreed. That's my position. That's my position on that. Put perfectly. Like, I don't think it's worth even wasting time and resources. I think that time and resources should be put into like trying to replace and like more so just building alternatives. What'll happen? Like that's been the theme of the show. It's like the customers are going to decide whether they want it or not anyway. Yeah. Right. So you might as well be building something anew instead of trying to focus on the old alone. I also think this is a thing that Japan does really well. Like, how many of these properties that we're talking about that these people love, like in entertainment, these are based on properties that were created within the last decades. Like when you look at like Demon Slayer or something like that, that's a relatively new thing, and it exploded. They do a phenomenal job of we'll just make another property. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and it'll blow. Sure, they have the One Pieces, they have Dragon Ball that exists. Absolutely. But they do a phenomenal job of just saying, look, we'll just create some new stuff. And a
lot of it is because there is so much that they experiment with.
Yeah.
There's so much that goes out there that a lot of it doesn't get picked up the way, but there'll be that one. But if you get that one, if that one just really peaks or gets into that public zeitgeist.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is ever evolving stuff, and it's ever new stuff. Oh, Demon Slayer is the new thing that just came out. Have you seen Demon Slayer? Oh, okay. Again, it's new, and we've had this for a long time now.
Yeah, it's what they do well. South Korea does it well with their mangas, and obviously Japan does it with their anime. They do a phenomenal job. They can get a new property, and it'll just it'll blow up. A different mangaka from who built this other like story or whatever, a property, and it just hits. You know what I'm saying? So that's been my position on this for a while. Obviously, I'm pretty passionate about it because I went and did my own thing. I understand that it takes a lot of hard work, and maybe that's the part that a lot of people are afraid of, right? Because it takes time to build. It takes effort, right? You're not just inheriting this shiny new thing that everybody recognizes. It's more, I got to build this thing from the ground up. I got to come up with these original concepts, new business plans, new all of that. And sure, that can be
because there's an element there. It's like, I could fail.
Yeah,
there's a huge element of risk there. I could fail, but when you say no, we need to retake our institutions. That to me just says you want to put on your fucking comfy slippers.
Yeah.
Because you don't, you're like, no, I'm familiar with this stuff. I'm familiar with this.
Right.
This is comfortable. This is established. No, so that's not how things innovate. That's not how industries innovate at all. And that's why I think the video game industry's regressed, because the West wanted to push innovation, and then it stopped wanting to push innovation, and it started to push monetization. And they are antithetical to each other, because you can't innovate while you're trying to nickel and dime people. Innovation takes time, money, creativity, and a completely different mindset to nickel and dime monetization.
Right. Right. No, you put that perfectly. Yeah. So now that's not my opinion, man. I'm not there of like retaking anything. I think that I think it's it was a long infiltration process. You're not going to re-infiltrate. It's rotten. It's cancerous at minimum. If you try to infiltrate, you'll just come out with blue hair and a side shave.
Yeah.
That's what you would come out with. That it's just build anew. And also you can also build, because building anew allows you also to build those security systems, for lack of better terms, that prevent you from being taken over, right? Like that prevents you from being infiltrated, right? Well, maybe you don't go public, maybe go the private route, maybe keep things in, you're right. You know what I mean? Like that's the advantage that you have in going completely private and independent. But yeah, to what Ash said, that's the reality of it. I think that's why a lot of people fear getting out there and creating, because it is risky. You're not gonna knock it out. You're not gonna hit bat 100. It's not gonna happen. You're, even if you are seeing success, you're going to do things that don't succeed comparatively to maybe some other thing that it's gonna happen. If it didn't happen initially, it will eventually happen, and you will be humbled. This is why you just keep out there and grinding, because yeah, it's gonna end. It's gonna happen inevitably that you're going to maybe something just doesn't end well, and that's okay, man. And that's risk. There's a risk involved, but we need it, man. We need that risk being taken. We need people out there creating. We need folks out there providing alternatives to what exists. And well, maybe one of the advantages that you do have is that you can consider a more modernized economic approach instead of being one of these massive dinosaurs that can't even pivot anyway. You know what I mean? Because they're so massive. Any change there would take decades before you ever saw the child. I've talked about this with the left infiltration of culture. If you think it started 10 years ago, you're sadly mistaken. You just saw the result.
Decades.
Yeah, you're talking decades. This is decades of infiltration, and before they had the again the complete capture, and that's why it looked like it accelerated in over the last 10 years, because really it did. But that didn't start then. That's not where it started. That was the result of decades upon decades. I'm not recommending that anybody waste time trying to think that they're going to do decades worth of infiltration. Reverse that. Instead, you could be building. Instead, you could be putting your energy into creating something new, and that's going to be a lot more effective. And perhaps that'll happen in your own lifetime instead of waiting for several decades. It's just not. It's not gonna happen. So start off fresh. There's nothing wrong with that. Our grandparents did this, right? They used to create. This is what they did. We need to get back to that instead of relying so heavily upon these other institutions. That being said, it kind of is in line with some of the stuff that we were talking about. There's been several. I believe they let us know in July, if I'm not mistaken, Microsoft, that eventually they were going to be cutting. I don't think it was all at once. I think it was over the next like quarter or something. I don't know. 15,000 jobs.
They might be doing a few more after this hiking of the Xbox Ultimate by 50%.
Yeah. So it's interesting what's going on with games right now. I don't know what to make of it. I think these guys.
How many times have we said how the fuck does Xbox Ultimate, Xbox Pass, whatever you want to call it?
There's no way they're making money.
There is no way you can be making money. There's no way That's why the Microsoft are buying these studios so they can put it onto the Xbox Pass.
Yeah.
Because studios are not fucking making money off this. It's a great idea for customers.
Yeah, we love it. Oh yeah, pay this amount, I get all these games. For economically, it's fucking retarded, man.
But unfortunately for customers, it's on Xbox, so that's gone right against it. Meanwhile, Steam are just like, we're literally doing nothing and winning.
Yeah. I'd never understood the logic. There was no way that was going to make money. It's similar with some of the other streaming stuff. Like, it's just, you're putting way too many resources into it, and there's no way out. There's absolutely no way out. So that's going to be a very tall order. And again, we get some of the thing with some of the other bigger companies with the streaming. I wonder how much of that is tied into their debt, into the contract that they can't pivot. I'm serious. Like, I don't
know. It's hearing this word over and over again with the Western gaming industry.
debt. Yeah.
Debt.
But seriously,
Debt.
it is interesting to see that though. Like, I always wonder, like, man, how do you get on the other side of that? Like, you know something that is a money sink, a pit. Like, you can't really deviate. There's nothing much more that you can do, but you continue to do it. You continue to double down. I wonder if that's sure. We can say there's incompetence. I know there's incompetence there, but it can't be just incompetence. Like, it can't be just stupidity.
Well, this is what happens when the anti-competition laws are absolutely broken beyond belief. There's no way that Xbox should be able to own that many fucking companies. There's no way that Activision should have in the past, etc.
Well, that's more attributed to the, like, well, we talk about the debt thing, right? That's more attributed to they get to play a game.
Buy, but they're not getting any fucking return.
Yeah, right. That's the game that they get to play. Our economic system
for long term, but you're just like, what long term are you talking about here?
Yeah.
Because you're not talking about the same customer. You got to look to get new customers in. Because your other customers are going to buy. Your new customers of today will be long fucking dead before you've made your money back on the acquisitions from these. So you're working off the assumption that you're still going to be around in those times. Maybe you should work off the assumption of just keeping going. Where are we in 10 years' time? How have we evolved? How's our company still? Ubisoft, dude. Ubisoft on the verge. On the fucking verge. What happened? NetEase came in, bought themselves into Ubisoft, said, we're going to take your profitable franchises, or at least the ones that we can do something with, which is like the 3 or the 4 that they took. And the rest of it, fuck off. You're now operating as a separate fucking entity from us. It's like Warner Brothers. What did Warner Brothers do? Broke away again so they could split away the debt.
Yeah. About the debt. It is. It seems to always be about that.
Like I said, 5,000.
They play by a game that is just quite. It's impressive. Like I said, it's a game that I can't play. Being a completely private company, Riververse cannot play that game where there can be like $20 billion. Like, imagine that. Like, we look at this stuff and like this big deal. If you missed it, we were talking about the EA deal, and 20 billion of that is debt. 20 billion of a $55 billion deal, 20 billion of it is debt. That's insane. That's insane to conceptualize, because I'm like, how is that much of the company fake money? Why hasn't this whole sham collapsed? Well, this going back to this is the game that when you are mega corporate, you get to play. You get to play.
You get to play the shell game.
Yeah. Like, we don't get to play that mom and pop shop that they start making, that type of debt. Banks closing them down. We're shutting this thing down. It's over with. Let's cut our losses. We're done here. You somehow get to buy more companies that also have debt, even though you have other. Doesn't make sense, but such is our economy that plays winners and losers through its banking system. Like, that's just unfortunate, and that's what you're up against. If you are a completely private company, a small company, that's what you're up against. You're up against people that can monetize their debt like none other. They can do that. It's impressive. It's impressive. I can't do it. It's impressive, but because if I do it, I'm first of all, they're gonna take everything I got, house and all, and I'm going to prison.
Yeah.
and I'm going to prison. So there's that.
But Mr. Cushy corporate guy,
yeah, exactly.
He'll get a fucking bonus on his way out the door.
Somehow, severance.
Somehow, some way, somewhere.
That's what he'll get. So
he'll get himself a nice severance package and a pat on the back and a gold watch and a well done for a job badly implemented.
Yep, that's the That's the game they play, man.
Meanwhile, Eric's in debtor's prison.
Yeah, right. I'm in fucking prison. Like
debtor's jail, whatever they used to call it, you know?
I'm fucking in prison. Yeah. That's what happens to me, man.
Fucking hell.
It sucks. All right, I want to get to some of these super chats. By the way, in case you missed it, we launched this right here. Our man Zill versus Babyface as my co-host, RiverSend.com. You can go grab the 3
pinned at the top, pinned on the top of the comment section.
Go grab this. We'll be doing videos and all sorts of fun stuff over the next weeks about this. Go take a look. We have 3 shirts that you can pre-order right now in an ever-expanding catalog of fun merchandise. So go grab the shirts. You got a Ripper the Silverback shirt. You got a Silverback shirt. You got a You're Boring shirt. That you can also grab right now. So head over to RiverSend.com. It's pinned in the comments.
Be passive aggressive. Buy a You're Boring t-shirt today and watch who gives you filthy looks in the public.
Yes.
They're the ones who know. They're the ones who know. They know who they are.
Yep.
Excuse me. Is this like a personal attack on me? Well, considering I don't know you, not really, but now that it's offended you, absolutely.
It for sure is.
For sure.
But go grab this. You got three shirts that you can go pre-order. We'd appreciate that. We just sent out a little email blast as well. So be sure to go grab that. Go check it out. All right, I want to get some of these old super chats. We got Cypher with a 10 says, congrats, Ripper. Mine just turned 2. I made a backlit steel Yaira #1 cover for the art contest. Wow. Before I realized it had to be comic card. Well, did I? No, I didn't see it. Where you could send that to me, the easiest way is like that I can see it immediately. It's probably gonna be on X, Twitter, if you have one. I would love to see that. Just get in contact with one of our guys, maybe even in our Discord or something like that. They'll get it to me. They'll show it to me. Larry, appreciate that 10, by the way, and I would love to see that. Larry with a 2 says, "Ash Chasing Ghosts is an awesome story."
Oh, Larry, thank you, mate. Glad you enjoyed it. Go
grab it.
Glad you enjoyed it, man. Really, I'm happy to hear that.
Let's go. Eagle Studios with a 5 says, "I'm definitely using RiverSend merch for my Universes merch because I've been using TeePublic and they suck donkey nuts." Thank you, Eric.
Yes, they do. Well, that's who I moved away from.
Yeah, that's what we view. And look, I also created this out of my own experience. If you remember, some of my personal merch used to go through before the Riververse started, was going through Teespring, right? So which now I think it's just Spring now. And yeah, it sucks. It sucks because again, that shit would fade after one wash. But also like I don't like the idea of hey, someone reaching out and saying, "Hey man, I ordered this. Where is it?" And I'm just like, I don't fucking know. You know what I mean? Like I have no, I don't like that feeling. I don't like that feeling. So that's why RiverSend merch is a thing for some select people that we're having that want to take advantage of that, obviously. And what we're going to be able to do is not only help you maybe send a boost and make sure you get some sales of it, but most importantly, we're taking care of the customer service aspect of it. We have some definitive, more like timelines, general timelines where we know that we're going to get this stuff, and you're able to like actually reach out to someone that can help you out in the event there is some hiccup on an order or something like that. So that's been a theme of the show as well, customer service. So you're in there, whether you know it or not, or whether you like it or not. If you operate in business, you're in the customer service business, and it's very, very important. Very important. Snacks with a 2 says, "Is the whole Starfield rant on the back?"
You know what it is? Yeah, that would have been funny.
That would have been funny.
There is nothing I love more.
That would have been funny.
Let's take my headphones off.
Yeah. 1992 Space Movie with a 10 says, "Wait, since you're a dad, does this mean you're old Ripper and the baby is now young Ripper? Do we have an Inception type scenario where you both being young Ripper?" Yeah, I don't know. I have to ponder on how that happens. Ideally, they would get to inherit the name at some point, but as far as I'm concerned, for right now, it's mine. But we'll see. Are they baby Ripper? Like we'll see how we figure this out. But that's a good question. That's a good question. Mike as man easy got this says Riververse onesies. Yeah, I can actually justify that now. So yeah. We have barbecue pits with a 5 says congrats, bro. Shout out to you, man. You always here showing love, homie. Says my wife is currently pregnant with our third. Keep us in prayer. You got it. We'll do the same for you and Lady Ripper. Thank you, brother. Says as well. Hashtag hallelujah. Thank you so much. Thank you. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Much love. Congrats to you as well. With number 3 on the way. Straw Hat Guy with the 9 months as hell, ripping the silverback. Eric, congratulations to you and the wife as you enter into this new chapter in life. May God continue to bless you. Thank you for your kind words. Straw Hat Guy, I appreciate you. Thank you. Thanks everybody for the kind words there. Demetrius Parham with a 5 said you should be very cautious. Oh, we already read this. We already got to this. I'm talking about interest, getting to the industry. You regret it. Yeah, we talked a little bit about this. Appreciate that 5. Cass Nelson with a 5.
Yeah, I said on Friday Night Tights, not last week, I think the week before. I said it's funny all these leftist Americans who kind of are consistently referring to, or at least implying, Christianity being an extremist
right
ideology, and I'm just like, where do you get a load of Islam?
Yeah, right.
Where did he get a load of the real fucking stuff that you're so desperate to bring in the door? Trust me, ain't gonna go the way that you want.
Not wrong.
Hashtag quiz for Palestine.
I was just forced to watch BioWare violence. Here are my beloved Dragon Age. I'll take my chances with the Saudis. Appreciate that. 5. Yeah, you're like, how much more worse can
yeah.
OG Tank, it's been a minute since I see you here, man. It was 6 months. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you stopping by. We got Jim with a 2 says happy fatherhood. Eric, you'll be a good dad. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you. Riumple with a 10 says Saint Center's ranking 6 underdog, way to restraint, 4 chasing ghost, 3 bone guy, 8 across the barrel, 1 little push. Congratulations to your family growth, Eric. Thank you so much. If I'm not mistaken, you were the one that was like, you posted like, if I had to rank them, I'd rank them this way, but I like them all. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. And I'm glad you enjoyed Saints and Senators.
Spelled number 1 wrong.
Holden with a 8 says, congrats, every app review. Consider as shameful, childish reaction to Peacemaker, Cyborg gaff. Why would anyone take ass? I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, he's right. You're right. He's talking about, okay. So what he's talking about is thanks for the cash, by the way. We appreciate that. So I put out a tweet saying DCU Cyborg, right? Because there is a cyborg in the show, right? Some Latina looking cyborg in a show. Now she's meant to be like 50% cyborg. She's just a regular looking person. The only time we've seen her do anything cyborg related is it zoomed in on a lens of her eye. So I just put the DCU cyborg because they have a conversation where they just say cyborg. Who is this so-so bitch? Cyborg. Da-da-da-da-da. So I said DCU cyborg. They didn't say a cyborg. They said cyborg.
Yeah.
So I just put so I did that. So I put that down and then I just put a picture of her looking like fucking normal. It drove the fucking freaks insane because I was distinguishing language because that's something that James Gunn is very fucking bad at doing. Didn't say a cyborg, said cyborg. Cyborg? What's the deal with this bitch? Cyborg. The instant reply back is cyborg. So and then community notes were just like, this isn't actually the cyborg. And I'm like, wait, whoa, community notes. It's not the cyborg, it's cyborg.
Yeah.
So even community notes don't even know what the fuck they were fucking talking about there. So just a little bit of wordplay, fucking shit post. They lost their fucking minds because Peacemaker's a pile of fucking shit. Absolute fucking dog shit. But yeah, they lost their absolute fucking minds over it. And I'm just like, what broke them? Was it Superman that broke these fucking weirdos because it was so shit? Or is it that Peacemaker's such dog shit that you're desperate to do? Anyway, I enjoyed it. It was a fun little thing. And then this week they refer to it as a cyborg. Big difference between Cyborg, who's Victor Stone, and a cyborg who is just a part machine, part human. Anyway, thanks for cash, though.
Appreciate it.
I know,
Andrew,
me enjoying a bit of shit posting on the social media platform.
Right.
Heaven forbid.
Right.
That's for serious stuff.
Andrew Faye with a 50. Wow. Says, live for nothing or die for something. Heroes aren't born in peace. Adversity forges them. This moment will echo in history, and your names are part of it. Your legacy weaves a thread in the West Tapestry. Says, for in time, the triumphs over evil. Thank you. Thank you so much for, by the way, that's $50.
Yeah.
That ain't cheap.
Big fat 50.
That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. So thank you so much for that, Andrew. Appreciate that. And man, $50, man. That ain't cheap. Thank you so much. Grove Noir with a 5-year-old says, congrats on me to daddy. Ripper now Silverback is next. I want his kids to say fucking pronouns when they're older. Oh, there you go. We have Luke with a 5. So my comes first issue only needs $5K to print, pack and ship 1,000 orders at $5, but $10 for one with sketch and 20 with sketch and signature will boost numbers. So that's the math. I know we had been talking about in previous streams. So that's the math that you're dealing with. That you think, okay, I'll 5K. That's what it'll take to ship and pack and print 1,000 orders. So I guess you've done the math on all the materials and everything. Okay. Says, but $10 for one with sketch and 20 with sketch and signature will boost numbers. Well, yeah, I mean, you can always people love those cool things, right? You want to add some kind of additional stuff that always helps. You always have to make sure, like I said, that baseline is that's all extra stuff, but that baseline.
Yeah, you gotta be careful with the extra stuff. You know, particularly first.
Yeah, you got to be careful because that's how a lot of the expenditures go crazy, where you start to do too much and then you realize that you have to account for it. So yeah, I got you. Johnny with a 5 says in the manga industry, results are super important. If a series does poor numbers after a few weeks, it gets axed. They don't F around. Well, that's why, again, a lot of new stuff, they're a lot more open to that stuff, and their whole entire ecosystem is just different. It's just different. How far Fernando with a 5 says, make sure you buy a shirt for your shirt. I agree.
Buy a shirt for your shirt.
/heel versus babyface, and you'll be able to get it shirt for your shirt. We got Lost Braves fan with 65 months. Thank you so much. Says, congratulations, Rippers. Always winning. I'm trying out here, brother. I'm trying. I'm doing my best. Bruce, my man's with the 10 says, huge congratulations to you and Lady Ripper. And best wishes. A good health to Baby Ripper. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Appreciate you so much. We got my man's Larry with a 53 months also. Says, congrats to you and Lady Ripper. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. And I believe that is it. Wow, what a show. What do you have coming up this week?
Well, I've just posted during the stream part 8 from a Days Gone playthrough. That's over on the gaming channel, which is HVB Gaming. The pinned comment in the comment section, of course, is the merch drop, the Heel vs. Bayface merch drop, which you can find on Ripper Sends. Please go pick yourself a t-shirt. As I said, buy a t-shirt for your t-shirt. That could be any of us, in all fairness. Other than that, I'll be doing something tomorrow. What? Yeah, not too sure. Video or stream, but it'll be something. Friday night tights. Lil Platoon is the guest. He just dropped a 4.5-hour Superman video yesterday. I've already seen it all. It was great. Because the film was terrible. Absolutely fucking terrible.
Well, may have it.
Just saying, it's just an opinion, Eric. It's just an opinion. Just an opinion. And then, of course, Sunday we'll have afternoon tea with Az, and we will also have Sunday Fun Day. Real BBC this Tuesday will be on my channel. Bang. There you go. Lots of stuff.
Awesome. Appreciate that. And also got Joe Music says, Ripper, do you see my other super chat? I'm looking now to try to make sure I didn't miss it. Josh Kelsey, I got your 20. As always, you don't say anything, you just drop it. But I'm scrolling up again to make sure that I didn't miss it. Was it something maybe before the stream, or how does this work? Yeah, because I don't see it. Or are you talking about direct dono? If you're talking about direct dono, I will check that out. But we'll see later today, because in about 2.5 hours, or just under 2.5 hours, we have For Cannon's Sake that'll be live. So I'll probably grab it there because I'll be able to actually see the direct donos. That's what you're referring to. So yeah, it's already live, the link. So if you want to go check that out, go check that out. I'll be here, like I say, in about 2.5 hours. So thank you so much. You guys are amazing. All right, I got to get out of here. Az does as well. We will see you next week on Az's channel, Hill versus Babyface. Again, we appreciate y'all your continued support for everything going on with Ripperverse. But today, I want you to go to rippersin.com and go grab those 3 t-shirts right now. Thank you all so much. We got to get out of here. We'll see you next week. Peace out, and y'all be easy.
Bye.